The scratching at the door starts just after midnight. Anna freezes, tea halfway to her lips, the steam curling in the frigid air of her cabin. She sets the mug down slowly on the rough wooden table, listening to the sound cut through the blizzard's fury with unnatural clarity. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Not wind scraping branches against wood, not the settling timber of her grandfather's old hunting cabin. Something deliberate, something alive. The fire crackles in the stone hearth, casting dancing shadows across walls lined with her photography equipment, the remnants of her old life before everything fell apart. 7 months she's been here. 7 months since that night on the train when 3 men cornered her between cars while she traveled home late from a gallery opening. And 7 months since she screamed for help and watched an entire car full of passengers deliberately look away. One woman had even gotten up and moved to another car, as if Anna's terror might be contagious. The police had been sympathetic, but useless. Hard to prosecute without witnesses, they'd said, as if the lack of willing witnesses absolved the crime. Her fiancé had tried to understand. Her friends had offered hollow comfort. But Anna had felt something break inside her that night. Some fundamental belief that people were inherently good, that community meant protection, that help would come when you needed it most. So she'd fled to her grandfather's isolated cabin in the remote Montana mountains. Fled from expectations and pity, and the version of herself she could no longer be. Out here, she didn't need to trust anyone. Didn't need to believe in human kindness. Didn't need to pretend the world was safe. She was alone, and alone meant safe. Until tonight. The scratching becomes frantic now, accompanied by a sound that makes the hair on the back of her neck stand up. A howl that cuts through the storm's rage with unmistakable desperation. Then another howl, different pitch, weaker. Not wind. Wolves. Anna's heart hammers as she crosses to the rifle mounted above the fireplace. Her grandfather's last gift before he died, before she'd inherited this sanctuary. Her hands shake as she checks the safety. Every wilderness survival course she'd ever taken flashing through her mind. Wild predators are not pets. Do not approach. Do not engage. Never let down your guard. She approaches the window with the rifle clutched tight, her breath coming in short, sharp gasps that fog the air despite the fire's warmth. The cabin suddenly feels too small, too vulnerable, too far from any help if something goes wrong. Through the frost-rimed glass, Anna sees them. 2 wolves huddle against her door, battered by wind that drives snow horizontally across the clearing. Their fur is crusted white with ice, their bodies trembling from cold or pain or both. The smaller one, pale gray, almost silver-white, lies collapsed against the wooden planks. Blood pools beneath its left hind leg, shockingly red against the pristine snow. A metal trap, rusted and vicious, clamps around the limb with cruel efficiency. Poacher's trap. Illegal. Meant to hold prey without quick death, allowing the trapper to collect still-living animals for pelts or sale. Anna's stomach turns at the sight of it embedded in flesh and fur. The larger wolf is massive, easily 150 pounds of pure predator muscle, with silver-gray fur that catches the moonlight filtering through the storm. Its amber eyes sweep the clearing with clear intelligence before locking onto the window. It paws at her door, deliberate, pleading. Then it does something that stops Anna's breath. It bows its head. Not a natural wolf movement, a gesture of supplication, of desperate request. "Let us in, please." The message is clear even without words. "No," Anna whispers, backing away from the window. "Wild animals, apex predators. Don't open the door for predators." The smaller wolf convulses once, whimpering. Its breathing comes in shallow, visible puffs that grow fainter with each exhale. The temperature outside has dropped well below 0. No injured creature could survive the night. The silver wolf looks back at Anna, and those amber eyes hold something that transcends the divide between human and beast. Desperation, intelligence, trust. It's the trust that breaks her. No one helped me when I needed it, Anna thinks, her hand moving to the door latch. No one opened their door. She draws a shaking breath. Just breathe and be. Her grandfather's words, her mantra through the worst moments. The latch clicks beneath her fingers. The brutal wind slashes at Anna's face as she pulls the door open, stealing her breath, sending needles of pain across her exposed skin. The silver wolf goes utterly still, amber eyes fixed on hers. A predator that could tear out her throat before she could raise the rifle. For one eternal moment, human and beast regard each other across an ancient divide. Then Anna steps aside, opening the door wider. "Come in," she says quietly. "Both of you." The silver wolf hesitates only a heartbeat before gently nudging its injured companion toward the threshold. The smaller wolf whimpers, but obeys, limping inside on 3 legs, leaving a trail of blood across Anna's floor. The silver wolf follows, moving with fluid grace despite its size, and Anna closes the door behind them, sealing them all inside her cabin. The wolves stand motionless in her living room, melting snow dripping from their fur. The smaller one collapses immediately by the fire, too weak to stand. The silver wolf watches Anna with those unnervingly intelligent eyes, its body deliberately non-threatening despite its power. "Okay," Anna says, more to herself than to them, lowering the rifle with shaking hands. "Okay, let me think. That trap needs to come off." She retrieves her first aid kit, moving slowly, telegraphing every movement. The silver wolf positions itself beside its companion, protective but allowing Anna to approach. Up close, the injury is worse than she'd feared. The trap has nearly severed tendons, and infection has already set in around the rusted metal. "This is going to hurt," Anna warns, meeting the injured wolf's eyes, pale blue, almost silver. Female, she realizes. Young. She begins working with wire cutters, her hands steadying as training takes over. The smaller wolf yelps once but doesn't snap or struggle. The silver wolf makes a low sound. Reassurance, Anna realizes with shock. It's comforting its companion. When the trap finally releases with a sickening click, Anna cleans the wound as best she can, applies antibiotic ointment, and wraps it in clean bandages. "There," she says, sitting back on her heels. "That's all I can do. She needs rest and probably a real vet." The silver wolf meets her eyes and bows its head again. Gratitude, clear as words. Anna's throat tightens with unexpected emotion. "You're welcome," she whispers. She brings them water and the leftover venison stew from dinner. Both wolves eat gratefully, and Anna finds herself talking to them as she adds logs to the fire. "I'm probably insane for letting you inside. Every wilderness safety course says, never let wild predators into your home." She laughs shakily. "But you're not exactly acting wild, are you?" The silver wolf tilts its head, listening with an attentiveness that should be impossible. "I came here to be alone," Anna continues, surprised to feel tears burning her eyes. "After what happened, after I learned that people will stand and watch while you scream for help." The wolf's amber gaze holds hers, steady and somehow understanding. "But being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing." Her voice cracks. "I'm so tired of being lonely." The silver wolf rises and crosses to her, moving slowly, deliberately. It settles beside her chair, close enough that Anna can feel its warmth. Hesitantly, she reaches out. The wolf remains perfectly still. Her fingers sink into soft fur, and the wolf leans into her touch with a sound like a sigh. Anna strokes its head, and for the first time in 7 months, the knot in her chest begins to loosen. "Thank you," she whispers, "for trusting me too." Anna wakes at dawn to an impossible sight. The smaller wolf, the one she'd bandaged last night, the one with the deep, infected trap wound, stands easily on all 4 legs. The bandages lie discarded on the floor. Beneath them, where there should be a horrific injury, the leg appears completely healed. "That's not possible," Anna breathes. Both wolves watch her calmly. The silver one's expression seems almost knowing. "What are you?" Anna whispers. The blizzard keeps them trapped together for 3 days. By the second morning, Anna stops jumping when the wolves move around the cabin. She catches herself talking to them constantly about her photography, the storm, memories of her old life. "I used to be confident," she tells the silver wolf as she sorts through camera equipment. She started thinking of him as male, somehow certain despite having no way to know. Then one day, I'm on a train and these men— Her voice breaks. The wolf's ears prick forward, attentive, and I screamed. I begged for help, and everyone just looked away. The wolf moves closer, pressing against her leg. Comfort without judgment. "No one tells you how that breaks something inside," Anna whispers, her hand finding his fur. "How you stop believing in people after that." The wolf makes a soft sound in his throat, and Anna could swear it carries understanding. She names them that evening. The smaller wolf becomes Frost, and for her pale, almost blue-tinted fur. The larger she calls Silver. They fall into routines. Anna cooks, setting aside portions for the wolves. In the evenings, she reads aloud from her grandfather's old books, while Silver listens with impossible attentiveness. On the third night, as the storm finally begins to break, Silver settles beside Anna's chair. She strokes his head, and he leans into her touch with obvious contentment. "You know," she says softly, "I should be terrified. Instead, this is the least alone I've felt in months." Silver's amber eyes meet hers, and something passes between them. A connection that transcends species, that feels almost like recognition, like fate. They sleep that night with Anna on the couch and Silver on the floor beside her, close enough that she can hear his steady breathing. Dawn breaks on the 4th day with startling clarity. The storm has passed, leaving a world transformed into crystal and diamond. Anna opens the door to brilliant sunshine bouncing off snow-laden branches. The wolves crowd the doorway behind her, suddenly alert. "It's beautiful," she says, stepping onto the porch. The wolves move past her, bounding into snow that reaches their chests. Frost leaps and plays, fully healed, creating fountains of powder. But Silver pauses at the forest's edge, looking back at Anna with those impossibly intelligent eyes. Her chest tightens with unexpected grief. "It's time to go home, back to your pack." Silver doesn't move. The moment stretches between them, heavy with meaning. "It's okay," Anna says, her voice catching. "Go on." Frost yips from the tree line, eager. After a long moment, Silver follows, his powerful body cutting through the deep snow. At the forest's edge, he pauses one last time. Those amber eyes find Anna across the distance, holding her gaze with an intensity that steals her breath. Then he turns and vanishes into the trees. Anna stands on the porch until her fingers grow numb, staring at the place where he disappeared. 3 days pass in hollow silence. Anna tells herself she's being ridiculous. They were wild animals. Of course they're not coming back. But she finds herself listening for the click of claws on wood, scanning the forest edge, aching with a loneliness that cuts deeper than before. Because now she knows what she's missing. On the 4th evening, as twilight deepens, movement at the tree line catches her eye. Silver stands at the border between forest and clearing, perfectly still except for his eyes tracking her with that same awareness that has haunted her dreams. "Silver," Anna whispers. The wolf's ears prick forward at his name. He came back. A pattern emerges. Every few days, Silver appears at the forest's edge around mid-afternoon. Sometimes he stays an hour. Sometimes until dark. By the 2nd week, Anna plans her days around him. "This is ridiculous," she mutters, checking the clock. He's a wild animal, not a dinner guest. But at 3:17, Silver steps from the shadows, and her heart leaps with something dangerously close to joy. Today she brings her camera. Silver sits in the snow, amber eyes fixed on her as she frames the shot. "The light is perfect," she says. "Hold still." Through the viewfinder he becomes art, fur glowing like molten silver in the afternoon sun. "You're beautiful," she murmurs. Silver tilts his head, and she could swear he's pleased. The next visit he brings a gift, a perfect pine cone placed on her bottom step. "Did you bring this for me?" Anna asks, touched beyond measure. That night she places it on her bedside table like treasure. The visits continue through January. Anna talks to Silver constantly, and he listens with that impossible attention that makes her feel truly heard for the first time since the attack. "Is this crazy?" she whispers one evening, stroking his fur as he lies beside her chair. "Telling you things I've never told anyone?" But the panic attacks have stopped. The fear has quieted. For the first time in months, Anna sleeps soundly. The moose appears like a ghost through the morning mist, its massive silhouette backlit by the rising sun. Anna freezes, camera halfway raised, her breath suspended in the frigid air. It's the shot she's been waiting weeks to capture. Wild, elemental, perfect. The kind of photograph that made her fall in love with nature photography in the first place, back before the city and the train and the fear. Slowly, carefully, she raises her camera with fingers numbed despite her gloves. The shutter clicks softly. The moose flicks an ear, but continues grazing on frozen underbrush. She takes a few more frames, then begins to circle cautiously, seeking a different angle. If she can just get closer, frame the animal against the snow-covered spruce with that morning light gilding its antlers. The moose suddenly lifts its head, nostrils flaring. Before Anna can react, it crashes away through the underbrush, vanishing into the trees with surprising speed for something so large. "Damn," she whispers, lowering her camera. "What spooked it?" A twig snaps behind her. Anna turns slowly, every survival instinct screaming alarm. 20 yards ahead, a massive brown bear rears onto its hind legs. 7 feet tall at least, tawny fur lit by the morning sun, massive paws tipped with claws like curved daggers. It drops to all fours, head swinging side to side, sniffing the air with a wet, guttural sound. Anna's heart slams against her ribs so hard she can feel it in her throat. "Don't run. Don't scream. Make yourself big. Back away, slowly." The safety course instructor's voice echoes in her memory like a distant radio. "Hey, bear," Anna croaks, raising her arms above her head. "I'm trying to appear larger than she is. Easy now, I'm just leaving. No threat here." The bear huffs, a deep, warning sound that vibrates through her chest, and takes a step forward. Then Anna hears it, a soft whimper from behind a fallen log to her left. A cub. Small, maybe 6 months old, with fur still fuzzy and baby-like. Her stomach sinks like a stone in dark water. She's between a mother and her baby. The worst possible position. "I'm backing off," Anna whispers, retreating one careful step, hands still raised. "I swear I'm not a threat to your cub. I'm leaving." The bear mirrors her movement, closing the distance. 10 yards now. 8. Its ears flatten against its skull. Its lips pull back to reveal yellowed teeth designed to tear meat from bone. "Please," Anna breathes, taking another step back. "I don't want trouble. Just let me—" Her heel catches on a hidden root buried beneath the snow. She stumbles, arms pinwheeling for balance, and falls hard, her camera flying from her hands to land with a sickening crack against a tree trunk. Pain explodes through her right ankle as it twists beneath her weight. She cries out, the sound sharp and animal in the quiet forest. The bear sees weakness, sees prey. It charges. Anna scrambles to her feet, but her ankle buckles immediately, sending her crashing back to the snow. She tries to crawl, elbows digging into frozen ground, dragging herself toward the nearest tree. But the bear is so fast. Impossibly fast for something so large. Its shadow falls over her like nightfall. Anna rolls onto her back just as the bear rises again on its hind legs, towering above her, breath steaming in great huffing clouds. Saliva drips from its jaws. This is it. All her healing over these past months, all her slow learning to trust again through Silver's steadfast presence at her door, all the quiet hope that maybe she could be whole again. And here at the end she's still alone, just like on the train, screaming for help that never comes. The bear drops to all fours, its massive paw raised to deliver a killing blow. Those claws will tear through her coat, her flesh, her organs. Death won't be quick, won't be clean. Anna closes her eyes and waits for pain. And a snarl rips through the clearing like thunder, primal and fierce and unmistakable. Her eyes snap open as a silver blur erupts from the tree line, landing between Anna and death with a heavy thud that shakes the ground. Silver. He hits the earth in a crouch, hackles raised along his spine until he looks twice his normal size, teeth bared in a snarl that reverberates through Anna's chest, amber eyes blazing with protective fury. More fearsome than she's ever seen him. More wolf than the gentle creature who'd slept beside her chair. This is the apex predator, fully revealed. Silver, no! Anna screams, panic for him eclipsing her own terror, overriding her survival instinct. Run! Please, just run! But he doesn't. Instead, Silver meets the bear's fury with his own. He lunges, snapping at the bear's face, drawing its attention away from Anna with deliberate, fearless aggression. The bear roars, a sound so massive it seems to shake snow from the surrounding trees, and swipes with a paw that could crush a wolf's skull. Silver dodges with uncanny speed, some liquid grace despite his size. He darts in, bites hard at the bear's leg, drawing blood, then leaps back before the next blow can land. For a breathless moment, hope flickers in Anna's chest. Silver is quicker, more agile. If he can just keep the bear distracted long enough for her to reach safety. The bear feints left. Silver moves to block. The bear's other paw connects with brutal, bone-crushing force. Silver flies through the air like a rag doll, his body spinning, limbs flailing. He crashes against a thick pine trunk with a sickening crunch that Anna feels in her own bones. He crumples to the snow and doesn't move. Blood spreads beneath him in a crimson pool, shocking and vivid against the pristine white. Silver! The scream tears from Anna's throat, raw and agonized. The bear turns back toward her, so huffing with victory, but Anna doesn't see it anymore. She sees only Silver, broken and bleeding 20 feet away, his chest barely rising with shallow, labored breaths. She moves without thinking, dragging herself across the snow on her belly, her injured ankle screaming protest with every movement but the pain, distant, meaningless. She has to reach him, has to get to him before her fingers find his fur, still warm despite the blood soaking it. The bear looms. Anna throws herself over Silver's body. "I've got you," she sobs into his fur. "I'm not leaving. I won't leave you." A howl cuts through the air. Then another, and another. The forest erupts with wolves. Frost steps from the trees, ghost pale. Behind her, a massive black wolf, scarred and ancient. Then grays, 4, 6, 8 of them. A pack. They form a circle around Anna and Silver, facing the bear with unified ferocity. The black wolf growls deep and commanding. The pack moves as one, circling, flanking, forcing the bear to spin. Frost darts in, slashes the bear's leg, dances away. The grays strike from both sides. The bear roars, frantic, missing every time. Its cub cries from behind a log. With a final bellow, the mother bear turns and runs for her baby, crashing through the brush. The wolves part, letting her go. Silence falls. Anna stays curled over Silver, gasping. The wolves draw closer, forming a living barrier around them, The black wolf approaches, sniffs Silver's wounds, then lifts ancient eyes to Anna. His gaze holds awareness no wild animal should possess. "Please," Anna whispers. "Help him." Frost nudges Anna's shoulder gently. The pack settles around her, their bodies shielding her from wind. Silver's breathing is shallow. Blood soaks the snow. "Just breathe and be," Anna tells him through tears. "Please, for me." The wolves begin to howl, not wild cries, but a low, haunting chant. Harmony. Purpose. The sound wraps around Anna, sinking into the earth, into her bones. Silver stirs. His eyes find hers one last time, and everything changes. The blood-matted fur begins to glow. Light spreads across his body like fire racing through paper. "What?" Anna scrambles back, eyes wide. The glow intensifies until she can't look directly at him. The wolves keep howling, their voices rising, shaking the air. The light pulses with a rhythm that matches Anna's heartbeat. Then it explodes outward in a soundless wave that flattens her to the snow. The last thing Anna sees before darkness takes her is Silver's body changing, lengthening, shifting, becoming something impossible. Becoming human. Chapter 2. The Truth. Anna wakes in a hospital bed to the smell of antiseptic and her parents' worried faces. "You're awake," her mother says, relief flooding her voice. "Thank God." "What happened?" Anna's throat feels like sandpaper. "Concussion, hypothermia, sprained ankle," her father answers. "The rangers said it looked like a bear attack. A hiker found you and brought you here." Anna's mind spins. The bear, Silver, the light, the transformation. "Did anyone see wolves?" she blurts out. Her parents exchange a look. "Honey, you need to rest. The doctor said confusion is normal." "I'm not confused," Anna insists. "There were wolves. Yeah, one of them was hurt protecting me." A knock interrupts. A man stands in the doorway, tall, powerfully built, with quiet intensity that commands attention. And amber eyes, familiar amber eyes. "This is Peter," her mother says. "The hiker who found you. He's been checking on you every day." Peter's gaze locks onto Anna's, and recognition slams through her like lightning. Silver. "Could I have a moment alone?" Anna asks, voice shaking. "Please?" When her parents leave, reluctant but finally respecting her need for privacy, Anna and Peter stare at each other across the sterile hospital room. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. Machines beep steadily, but all Anna can see are those amber eyes. The same eyes that watched her through winter storms, that listened as she poured out her heart. Yes, that held hers with impossible understanding. "You," she whispers, her voice shaking. "You're him. You're Silver." Peter nods slowly, his powerful frame seeming too large for the small visitor's chair beside her bed. "Yes." "How?" The word comes out broken. "How is any of this possible?" Peter takes a careful breath, and Anna sees him choosing his words with the same deliberation he used to approach her cabin those first few times, cautious, respectful of her fear, giving her space to process. "My name is Peter Nightfang," he says quietly. "I'm Alpha King of the Northern Pack, the wolves who've ruled these mountains for 1,000 years. Anna's mind reels, trying to reconcile this revelation with everything she thought she knew about the world. 3 years ago, Peter continues, his voice roughening with old pain, a group of hunters discovered our existence. They came with guns and traps and fire. My father, the previous Alpha King, and 2 of our council members were killed protecting the pack." His hands clench into fists on his knees, and Anna sees the same protective fury that had blazed in Silver's eyes when he'd faced the bear. "I was young, grief-stricken, furious." Peter's jaw tightens. "As the new Alpha, it was my duty to protect what remained of my pack. But I was consumed by rage and fear, and this absolute certainty that humans were the enemy, that they would always betray us, always hurt us." Anna understands that kind of certainty. She'd felt it herself after the train attack. That bone-deep conviction that people couldn't be trusted, that kindness was a lie, that the world was fundamentally unsafe. "There's a being," Peter says, yet his voice dropping lower. "Neither fully mortal nor entirely divine. He appears in times of desperation and offers wishes to those desperate enough to seek him out." "Like a genie?" Anna asks, thinking of childhood fairy tales. "Something far more dangerous." Peter's smile is grim. "Every wish comes with a price. Always. And the price is never what you expect." He stands and moves to the window, staring out at the snow-covered mountains visible in the distance. His territory, Anna realizes. His kingdom. "I sought him out in my grief," Peter admits. "I wished for my pack to be undetectable by humans, to be safe from their violence and betrayal for as long as I deemed it necessary." Anna's breath catches as understanding begins to dawn. "The wish was granted," Peter continues. "We were transformed, trapped in our wolf forms, unable to shift back to human. As wolves, humans would never recognize us as anything but animals. We'd be invisible in plain sight, safe from hunters who sought supernatural prey." He turns back to face her, and the vulnerability in his expression makes Anna's heart ache. "And the price?" she asks softly, though she thinks she's beginning to understand. "What I valued most." Peter's laugh is bitter. "I thought he'd take my strength, or my position as alpha. Instead, he took my absolute conviction that all humans were dangerous." Anna frowns. "I don't understand. He took away your certainty?" "By taking it as payment, he left a crack in the armor of my wish," Peter explains. "A vulnerability. A way for the spell to eventually break, when I no longer believed completely that humans couldn't be trusted." His amber eyes meet hers, intense and achingly honest. "I thought it would be forever. I was so sure I'd never trust a human again." His voice drops to barely above a whisper. "Then you opened your door." Anna's eyes fill with tears. "Me? You." Peter moves back to her bedside, close enough that she can feel his warmth. "Who else would have let 2 freezing wolves inside during a blizzard? Who else would have removed a trap from an injured predator's leg, risking your own safety? Who else would have talked to a wolf like he understood every word?" He reaches for her hand, hesitates, then takes it gently when she doesn't pull away. "I tried to stay away after that first night. Tried to tell myself it was just gratitude for saving my sister. But I couldn't." His thumb traces circles on the back of her hand. "I kept coming back, day after day, week after week." "I thought you were just a wolf," Anna whispers. "I told you everything. All my secrets, my fears, the things I've never told anyone." "I know." Peter's voice is rough with emotion. "And I listened to every word. Your pain became my pain. Your healing became my hope. I watched you learn to trust again, and in watching you, I learned the same lesson." Anna's hand tightens on his. "The bear attack. That's when the curse broke." Peter nods. "When I saw you throw yourself over my dying body, willing to sacrifice yourself to protect a wolf, I realized my conviction was wrong. Not all humans were my enemies. You proved that with your actions." He lifts her hand to his lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles that sends warmth racing through her. In that moment of perfect clarity, I understood I no longer deemed the protection necessary. The curse shattered. I shifted back to human form for the first time in 3 years. "And your pack?" Anna asks. "Did they all shift back too?" "Only I was bound by the wish," Peter explains. "The others were collateral, caught in my curse because they're bound to their alpha. When I transformed, so did they. Those who chose to return to human form. Some, like my sister Frost, switch between forms freely now. Others prefer to remain wolves." He studies her face, searching for something. Acceptance, maybe, or understanding. "I came to the hospital every day," he says quietly, "watching over you, making sure you were safe. But I couldn't tell you the truth. Couldn't risk overwhelming you while you were recovering. You came to check on me, Anna says, and remembering his visits. How her heart had leaped every time he appeared in the doorway. How she'd felt inexplicably drawn to him despite having just met. I came because I couldn't stay away, Peter corrects. Because the bond between us, the mate bond, was already forming. Anna's heart skips. Mate bond? Peter's expression becomes impossibly tender. Among my people, the moon goddess chooses our perfect match, our fated mate, the one soul meant to complete ours. He cups her face with his free hand, and Anna leans into the touch without thinking. I felt it that very first night, Peter confesses, when you opened your door to us. The moment our eyes met, I knew. You were mine, my mate, chosen by the goddess herself. Tears spill down Anna's cheeks. I felt something, too. I thought I was going crazy. Yet you were supposed to be just a wolf, but I felt this connection. Like I'd been waiting for you my whole life without knowing it. Not crazy, Peter assures her, his thumb brushing away her tears. The mate bond recognizes its counterpart even across species, even across the impossible divide between human and shifter. Anna's mind spins with the implications. What does this mean? For us? Peter's eyes darken with emotion. It means I'm in love with you, Anna. Have been since you bandaged my sister's leg without a thought for your own safety. Since you talked to me like I mattered, like I was more than just an animal. Since you showed me that humans could be brave and kind and trustworthy. His voice breaks slightly on the last word. Anna's heart pounds. I thought I'd never trust anyone again after that night on the train. Then you showed up at my door, asking for help. And somehow, her voice breaks. Somehow you made me believe the world could be kind again. Peter cups her face with infinite gentleness. You saved my sister. You saved me. You broke a 3-year curse with one act of compassion. What happens now? Anna whispers. That's up to you. Peter's thumb strokes her cheek. I'm Alpha King. My life is complicated, dangerous. But if you'll have me, if you'll accept this impossible bond between us, Anna answers by pulling him down into a kiss. It's gentle at first, tentative, then deeper, more urgent, as months of connection finally find expression. When they part, breathless, Peter rests his forehead against hers. My mate, he whispers. You're my fated mate. I've known since the first night, but I couldn't tell you. It couldn't risk frightening you away. I'm not frightened, Anna says, threading her fingers through his hair, silver-streaked, just like his fur. Not anymore. Epilogue. 6 months later. Anna stands in the grand hall of Nightfang Keep, Peter's ancestral home deep in the mountains, wearing robes of silver and white. The Luna's claiming ceremony. Peter takes her hands as the pack priestess speaks the ancient words of bonding. His amber eyes shine with wonder and love. I was cursed, he says when it's his turn to speak. Trapped in wolf form, convinced all humans were enemies. Then a woman with a kind heart opened her door to freezing wolves and changed everything. He lifts Anna's hand to his lips. You taught me that the bravest thing isn't closing your heart to protect it. It's opening it again after it's been broken. Anna's eyes fill with happy tears. You taught me the same thing. That trust is a gift worth giving. That not everyone will look away when you need help. The priestess places the Luna's chain around Anna's neck, white gold to match Peter's, marking her as his equal. Bonded before the moon and the pack, the priestess declares. The wolves howl, some in human form, some in wolf, all joyous. Frost approaches, now fully healed and radiant, and hugs Anna fiercely. Sister, she whispers. Later, as the celebration continues, Peter pulls Anna onto the balcony overlooking the moonlit forest. Happy? He asks, arms wrapped around her from behind. Anna leans into his warmth, watching wolves run through the snow below. Her pack now, her family. I came to those mountains to hide, she says softly, to escape a world that had hurt me. Instead, I found you, found home. Peter turns her in his arms, his expression tender. 2 frozen wolves begging at your door. And I had no idea, Anna says with a smile, that one of them was an alpha king who would change my life forever. Just as I had no idea, Peter murmurs against her lips, that the lonely woman in that cabin would become my heart, my mate, my everything. They kiss as snow begins to fall, soft and gentle, blanketing the world in fresh beauty. Inside, the pack celebrates. Outside, 2 souls who'd both learned to trust again find warmth in each other's arms. The frozen wolves had begged to enter, and in opening her door, Anna had found not just refuge for them, but salvation for herself. A home, a love, a future she'd stopped believing was possible. Sometimes the greatest blessings come disguised as the things we fear most. Sometimes opening your heart to the impossible is the only way to find what you've been searching for all along.